Now, revelations casting doubt on a key claim by the Romney campaign and the candidate himself leading the Obama campaign to suggest Mr. Romney may have committed a crime. Heated stuff, to be sure. Here's what it's all about. Mr. Romney has, of course, spent the past few months trying to make sure the Obama campaign does not define the narrative of his successful career in the private sector. Basically, the Obama campaign wants to paint Romney as the greedy, out-of-touch rich guy whose company, Bain Capital, closed factories, killed jobs just to make a quick buck. That's what they want. Mr. Romney has said many of the allegations don't count because he'd already left the firm.
Well, the most recent attacks are really off target, and I think they know that. They said, "Oh gosh, Governor Romney at Bain Capital closed down a steel factory." But their problem, of course, is that the steel factory closed down 2 years after I left Bain Capital. I was no longer there, so that's hardly something which is on my watch.
Well, the key development in today's story is the year, 1999. That's when Mr. Romney says he left Bain to run the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. However, a number of news outlets have uncovered filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission that show him still on the corporate books through 2001. They list Mitt Romney as CEO, president, and managing director of Bain Capital. You can take a look right there. Now, the question, of course, is did Mr. Romney exercise an active role at the time? Was he actually making management decisions? Or was this just some kind of clerical artifact of his leaving so suddenly? The Romney campaign telling us, quote, the article is not accurate, as Bain Capital has said, as Governor Romney has said, and has been confirmed by independent fact-checkers multiple times. Governor Romney left Bain Capital in February 1999 to run the Olympics and had no input on investments or management of companies after that point. The Obama campaign, on the other hand, is playing this up. Spokeswoman Stephanie Cutter telling us, quote, this puts him at the center of responsibility for troubling investments involving outsourcing and bankruptcies. It also raises serious questions about why he misrepresented the date of his departure and whether he is concealing his tax returns because there's still more about this period and beyond that he doesn't want people to know. Campaign legal counsel Bob Bauer going even further. He says that under normal circumstances, the question of the truth in SEC filings would trigger an investigation into possible criminal as well as civil violations of the law. The Romney campaign is demanding an apology from President Obama for that. Let's get some perspective. Let's step back from this a little now, get some perspectives from Chief National Correspondent John King and Senior Political Analyst David Gergen. So, John, when the Romney campaign says he had nothing to do with the company post-1999, is there any reason to doubt that that's true? I mean, what benefit possibly would they get from not being fully accurate about his dealings there?
When you show those SEC filings, there's the reason to doubt it, and they're going to have to explain that away. That is a government document. It's filed with the United States government. Here's how they explain it. They say he left in February 1999, that it took almost 2 years to have the new management team put in place, and that they are required by law, until that new team is in place, to list Mitt Romney as the top guy. Is there any evidence, Anderson, that he had a hands-on role? No. You've heard what Governor Romney has said. The Washington Post, factcheck.org, our partners at Fortune magazine. I today have either spoke or communicated by email with 4 current or former Bain officials. 3 of these 4 are Democrats. 2 of them are active Obama supporters in campaign 2012. They were all there at the time. They say Mitt Romney left in a hurry in February 1999 to take over the Olympics, and he was never involved after that, to their knowledge, not at any meetings, not signing any documents, not involved in any deals. Again, 3 of these 4 are Democrats. They say what the Obama campaign is saying isn't true.
So, David, is this an overreach or overreaction by the Obama campaign trying to fit into the narrative that they've been running with now over the last couple of days?
It certainly may well be. I talked today to 2 of the senior leaders of Bain Capital, people I've known for a long time. They said exactly what John King just reported, that when the request came in from the Olympics for him to come out there, he said, guys, I don't really want to go, but Ann and I think we must. And he left within 5 to 10 days. It was a real hurry. And a lot of the documents that pertain to a number of entities took a while to unwind. They were in no hurry because they didn't think there was anything like this ever coming. But the critical thing is, what they said to a person is, after February 1999, he made no calls on behalf of Bain Capital. He made no hiring decisions. He made no investment decisions. And they suggested another way to check this would be to talk to people who invested in the next round of fundraising or money raising for Bain Capital about whether they thought he was running things. And they said, if you check with them, you'll find they thought he had left. Now, I should tell you, Anderson, that I've had not only personal relationships. I started out with Bain Capital folks, partners, being great philanthropists here in Boston, but I've also had financial dealings with them. I've given a couple of paid speeches for them, and I also was part of a company that was sold to Bain Capital. I was on the board of a company that we sold to Bain Capital. We thought they did a terrific job, but I did realize some financial gain from that. Having said all that, knowing what I know about the Bain Capital Partnership, how I think that they are people of real integrity, they're very well regarded in Boston. I think that the Romney people, the burden is on the Obama people to prove this. Factcheck.org today, which is a respected organization, said they stood by their reporting that Romney had no active engagement with Bain Capital after February 1999. I would point out that report by factcheck.org was co-written by Brooks Jackson, who used to be a very, very good investigative reporter for CNN.
Yeah. John, I mean, both of the campaigns have gone all in this week on the message that the other side is lying about Bain, Romney's business record. How critical do they think this debate is to the campaign, and where could it have the biggest impact?
Well, in some ways, inside the Obama campaign, they might say they're winning even as we have a conversation in which we say it doesn't appear that what they're saying about Governor Romney is true. Why? Because we're not talking about the broad U.S. economy. We're not talking about 4 months in a row of rather dismal jobs reports. In the Obama campaign, look, if we're a Republican president right now, they'd be trying to do the same exact thing, get us to talk about anything but the single biggest driving force in American politics, which is right now a very weak economy. So what are they doing? As voters make up their mind over the next couple of months, Anderson, how am I going to vote? The Obama campaign wants to say, maybe you don't like me, maybe you're upset with the strength of the economy right now, but look at this other guy. He's greedy, he keeps secrets, he's not telling the truth. You can't trust him.
David, there's no question this is complicated. It may take days for reporters to get to the bottom of this story, although, frankly, from both of you, it sounds pretty definitive. If you're the Romney campaign, do you want to clear this up completely, or does the ambiguity actually help somehow, or is this just having this discussion hurtful?
I think John is right. Every day that's been talking about this helps the Obama campaign. I do think the Romney campaign, I think Bain Capital has a very strong interest in getting the facts out as they know them and putting it forward and trying to close the books on it. I also think that over time, Mitt Romney is going to have to provide more of his tax returns than he's been willing to do so far. Having said that, again, what's surprising about this is the Obama campaign is now playing a very rough form of politics. And is that really what we were promised way back when?
Not, and the answer clearly, your indication is not.
I don't think so.
John, there have been questions raised about Bain's relationship with a company called Stericycle and what role, if any, Romney had in that deal. What do you know about that, and how, if any way, does that play into this?
Well, it's one of the reasons people inside the Romney campaign and inside Bain Capital think that the Obama campaign is trying to stretch the calendar, to try to say that Governor Romney was involved way past February 1999. Why? In November 1999, Bain did invest in a company called Stericycle. It's a medical waste company. Among the things it did, excuse me for saying this, was help dispose of aborted fetuses. Now, what some people inside the Romney campaign believe is that the Obama campaign would like to be able to say, we've now convinced you he was there into 2000. Well, in 1999, Mitt Romney, who says he's anti-abortion, invested in this company. How would they use that? Nobody's quite certain, but inside the campaign, they think it could be used as, say, on Christian radio, a direct mail piece, late in the campaign to try to discourage turnout among social conservatives who would be absolutely critical to any Romney path to victory.
All right. John, appreciate the updates today. David Gergen as well. Thanks very much. Still ahead on the program, scathing report on Penn State's handling of the Jerry Sandusky child sexual abuse scandal. If you think you knew a lot about this case, new details today. It slams the university for what's called a total and consistent disregard for Sandusky's victims. President of the university not even mentioning the children for a long time until Sandusky was charged and arrested.